Hello, everyone. This is Theo Goodman, and I'm here with Martin from Bethereum, social betting platform. How's it going, Martin?
It's awesome. Great, great. It's snowing outside. It's lovely weather. I think we're in
Okay, great.
Slovakia, so yeah, good.
Okay, right on. Yeah, so I've met you before. We met at the ICE conference, and we talked about your social betting platform on top of Ethereum. And before we get into that, I want to know, how did you get into Bitcoin or crypto?
Oh, it's actually a funny story. Uh, when I was 15, I think I started programming and my own free time, and then from that it led to me starting a company in Silicon Valley when I was 18, and afterwards I came back from Silicon Valley when I was 20, and in Slovakia here I founded a software development studio, and my whole focus was that we already at that time I think I already realized that mobile apps and websites and all those things are going to be mainstream soon. So I think what we as a studio did, we kept looking at new technologies. So we did a lot of AI, machine learning, and then of course Bitcoin and all the crypto started to get a hot topic. So we decided to focus on that as well. And I think around 3 years ago, it was the first time I came in contact with crypto. I actually bought a few Bitcoins just to see how it works and what it was all about. And I think back then Bitcoin was used for stuff as the Silk Road and stuff like that. So there was no real use back then for it. But you can already tell that this is going to be a promising technology, mainly because I think how the banking system around the world works. For me personally, I was pretty amazed how the banking system is compared to what we have here in Europe, in the US. So that was the first surprise. And for me, as someone who spent most of his life in Europe and was accustomed to how the banks here work, uh, it was fascinating to see that the transfers between bank accounts in the US were actually pretty complicated. And then I started realizing why services such as PayPal and all those others took off so well in the United States. And I think what crypto will do for the banking sector and for all the financial sectors in general, it will make the money transfers and the flow of money easier than it is right now. And once I realized that, I think that was a really important realization for me. And that's when all the crypto started to make sense. The ease of making a transfer from one address to second address without anyone in the middle, without any huge delays due to clearing centers, stuff like that. So I think that's when I realized that crypto is really interesting. And yeah, that's the answer to your question, Theo.
Okay, great. Also, so you've got now Bethereum, and it has to do with betting. Why did you guys choose to go into a crypto betting platform rather than something else? Like you talked about banks and transfers and how there's less friction. There's all kinds of things all kinds of projects you can choose from. Why did you guys decide to get into betting?
So how we met. So how I met my partners is that I actually run the development studio here in Slovakia, and we did apps, we did some AI, we already tried to do some blockchain projects as well. And one of my clients were actually my partners with whom we were developing a social betting app. So we started off like a social betting app, but I think we figured out really quickly that the social betting concept is really made for the blockchain. So I had clients who were developing a social betting app with me without the blockchain. But once they approached me and we really looked at the project, and with my at that time, I think I was pretty efficient with how blockchain works and how the technology can be used. It was really clear that the whole project we were building was perfect for a blockchain. The blockchain really took out all the worries that we had, such as payments, validation, verification. It really took out the trouble of it. So I suggested it back then to them, and the way it turned out that I actually became a partner with them. We started a company all together, and as I've said, what we've already tried to do before, like a social betting app, like a really different concept of betting compared to what standard betting looks like, it really made much sense on the blockchain. So we said, okay, why not use the blockchain to finish developing our app, and why not do a token sale to gain funding for it? And it really made much sense. And as I've already said, blockchain and betting are really two really overlapping areas, and blockchain really takes the trouble out of developing a successful betting platform. So I think the decision was pretty obvious to go with what we have now, and we took it from there, and now we're getting ready for a token sale.
Okay, so there's, you saw that it, validation of transactions, maybe people don't trust each other, the bettors don't trust the platform doesn't trust the bettors. So if you can't, everything is not reversible. So I mean, that makes sense to me. So you're using the Ethereum blockchain, right? Yeah. Why did you choose Ethereum?
I've been involved in several startups before, I'd say, and many of the startups were either not as successful as they could be, or entirely unsuccessful, of course. And I think it was due to the friction that we had to deal with to get our platform off the feet. So I think when you start to develop a new concept or something entirely new, you first need to start with something that is as simple as possible. And in that respect, the Ethereum blockchain makes a lot of sense, because launching a token sale on the Ethereum network is great. You already have all the tools necessary to do it. You have a stable environment, a stable ecosystem. And as we're doing something that is pretty new, I think, and overall in the betting industry, there have been some players who try to tackle the social betting concept. But I think there have not been many successful ones, and altogether there haven't been many social betting platforms out there yet. So I think for us it made sense for the start to start off as easy as possible and do a proof of concept. And the Ethereum platform, the Ethereum blockchain, was very prepared for it. And yeah, it was just the path of least resistance, and it made very much sense, because instead of spending a ton of money that we didn't have back then, a ton of time that we also didn't have back then, to develop something from scratch, our own chain from scratch, without having validated the social betting idea, I think it wouldn't have pretty much made sense back then. And I think going with the Ethereum blockchain just made our lives very, very easy, and we could move ahead much faster and without much friction. So the Ethereum blockchain was, I think, a go-to choice for us.
Yeah, well, it is the go-to choice for token sales, it looks like, for now at least. Okay, what parts of the application are really on the Ethereum blockchain or have anything to do with the Ethereum blockchain? And, what basic parts are just somewhere in a server? I mean, we already have, I don't know any social betting sites, but there's plenty of betting sites that take Bitcoin or Ethereum, Litecoin, etc. So they've already seen that, you need that with payments as far as, people that don't trust each other. But what parts of your platform have directly to do with the Ethereum blockchain?
Okay, so I think I'd start off by maybe explaining to the viewers a bit of what we're doing first, so they can really understand where the blockchain comes in. So basically, Bethereum is a social betting app. What we're trying to do is take out the bookmaker from the whole system, and we're also trying to get rid of odds. So with Bethereum, there will be no odds involved at any point. So how Bethereum works is that basically you create a bet, you select the matches you want to bet on, and then if it's a public bet, anyone around the world can join in and give their results for the matches you have selected. And after, if it's a private bet, of course, you can only do it amongst your friends. So you have the choice of either going public or private with your bets. And once every player enters their predicted results, there is a point system that will determine the winner. For example, like with football, for every sport, of course, and also we're going to be adding esports and stuff like that. But for every sport or every betting event, we created our own point system that I think is fair. So, for example, if we go with football, for every goal scored, for every match, you can get 10 points. And so, if the player predicted the home score, he gets 2 points. If he predicted the away score, he gets another 2 points. If he predicted the winner, he gets 4 points. And if he predicted the exact results, he gets 10 points. So 2 points. So in all, you can get 10 points for all the matches for football. And as I've said, so if you have 10 matches, 10 football matches, the maximum amount of points you can gain in a bet is 100. And so we do this point system for every player in the bet, and in the end, what you end up with is a player that has the most points, and he's the bet's winner. So as I've said, no odds on Bethereum. Everything is regulated by the point system. The point system also enables us to do cool stuff such as leaderboards, badges, and really introduce the game element into betting again, because I think that's important. And as I've said, it's social betting. There is no middleman. There's no bookmaker who creates the odds. I think everyone realizes that the odds are always in the favor of the house. So there's not a problem like this in Bethereum, as the players bet against each other. And this is really where the blockchain on our platform is visible the most. So basically, all bets are created as smart contracts among the players. Smart contracts are essentially digitized contracts that specify the rules of the bet. They also hold the information about the point system. Smart contracts can also pull the sport results or the event results from an oracle. I think we'll come back to that later. And the smart contracts also select the winner after the bet has been ended or all the matches have been played. And of course, the smart contracts are able to pay out the winners automatically at the end of each bet. So as I've said, what this allows us is to take out the middleman. So between all the players betting against each other, there is not an entity, nor us, nor some referee or whatever you might want to call it, but there is a smart contract. And the smart contract holds all the rules. The smart contract is unchangeable, and the smart contract also pays out the winners. So I think that's the crucial part where the blockchain is used with our platform. We also devised our own token. So it's called the Bether token. It's an in-app currency on our platform, and all the bets will be placed in that currency. And of course, smart contracts are, and why we're doing this is because smart contracts are not they don't work with real world money, so they won't work with euros or dollars. So we devised our own token. So to answer your question, where the blockchain is on our platform is basically all the users have their own wallets, which are basically also technology of the blockchain, and all the bets are smart contracts that are funded by the wallets, and also every wallet has like its own signatory, right? Let's call it that. So basically, the answer is on our platform where blockchain is used. First of all, it holds the players' funds, so the wallets, and it also decides the whole betting logic and pays out the winners and holds all the rules for the bets. So every bet on our platform is a smart contract. That's it.
Okay, so basically, oh, you're echoing. Basically, it's like a betting pool. So I enter the betting pool with however many people. Either you said it's public or private, and maybe it's winner take all. Maybe you have other formats like top 3, top 5, top 10, and things like that. It's kind of like how fantasy works right now. Yeah. And you have a point system. It's similar to how fantasy works, not exactly, but you have this point system. It's not just who wins or how many goals. Okay. Let's say, so it's basically parimutuel betting. So there's no odds. It depends on how many people are in the pool that would determine if you were to calculate the odds.
Yeah,
would exactly be the odds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And that's interesting what you said. So I guess you have the app on your phone or whatever device, and that has an Ethereum wallet built in with keys and everything. So I have to take care of all that, right?
Yeah. So we have two models, I think, and our inspiration for this was the Coinbase exchange, because they have a really interesting concept. So first of all, our top priority, I think, is make it as easy for the player, as easy as possible for the player to bet on our platform. So he has to have some way of acquiring our tokens using standard payment methods. So the way we're going to do this, and of course there is a bit of a more insecure way of doing this, but it's simpler for the user, and then for the high rollers that actually want to spend big money on our platform, they can manage their keys on their own. So if you create a standard account, you'll just create a wallet. We'll create a wallet in the background for you. We'll encrypt your private key with your login data. So technically, we're not able to access it, only you. And of course, that's one way to do it. But if there are players who decide that they want to spend big buck on our platform, what they can do, they can install a separate app called the Bethereum wallet, and it will hold their private and public keys offline. So we don't have any access to their money. And why we're doing the first alternative is that because with every time you try to enter the bet, with the second option, with the more complicated option, but of course more secure for the player option, the user will have to go to the Bethereum wallet and confirm the transaction. We'll make it as seamless as possible. But again, as we're not in charge of his private key, we cannot do the transaction towards the bet for him. But as I said, for all the other users that don't really care, and I think standard security measures are good enough for most of the people, they'll be able to do it right from the app. And as we know their login info, and as we use the login info to encrypt their private key in our database, whenever they try to enter the bet, right from the app, we can basically sign the transaction towards the bet using their private key encrypted using their login credentials. So two alternatives. One is more easy for the players, maybe a bit less secure, but it's not less secure. It's just for the players who really have big money, we have the second alternative where they can really be in charge of their own private key on their own, and there's no way for us to manipulate with it. So yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, so you spoke about how you want to make it easy for people to get the token. I mean, I understand that you're doing a token sale and you need to raise funds to build it, but it kind of adds another layer of friction if I have to buy a token. You know, I could just use Bitcoin or Ethereum directly in a social betting platform, right? So how does this, how are you going to make that, you know, easy and feasible and so everybody understands?
So basically both the Bethereum betting app and the Bethereum wallet will be hooked up to an exchange right within the app. So basically what you do is you just enter your credit card info or a wallet address of any other crypto that we will exchange right from within the app for our Bether token. So really for the user, it's not too much of a hassle. He'll just enter his credit card or his bank account like he would in any other betting app, but the betting will really be going on in the Bether token, our own in-app currency.
Okay, and all right, so we have, let's say that I'm an average user, I'm not a crypto nerd, and I have no idea, but I want to use your app. So I have to connect my credit card because that's the easiest thing for me. And I'm going to have to pay a credit card fee of some kind. And then it's connected to the app is connected to some kind of exchange. And on the exchange, there's, you know, like a trading fee and there's a spread. And then you guys take a rake also from each bet, or how does that all work? How much does it cost for me to use your platform?
I think at this stage, I can't give you an exact number, but as we're working hard to create partnerships with exchanges, we'll cut down the trading fees to a minimum. We will also have partnerships with payment gateways, stuff like that. So we'll also be able to put those charges to a minimum. Maybe we can even get them to let us pay for the charges that are incurred due to the transaction processes. So that's how we're going to take care of that. And again, could you please repeat the question, the second part of the question?
I just wanted to get a basic overview of how much it would cost. Of course, you don't know the exact number, but you know, I'm going to have to pay, if let's say worst case, I use a credit card and then I have to pay the exchange fee on the altcoin exchange. And then on top of that, maybe there's a spread that's really big because there's not a lot of liquidity that day. And so then it would appear to me that I don't have a whole lot of bet tokens in my account. You see what I mean compared to what I paid?
I see what you mean. But the funny thing is that from the feedback we had until now, the betting people actually enjoy the differences in the token prices. So as you said, at that current day, there might not be enough liquidity in terms of our Bether token on the exchanges. So there might not be enough Bether tokens, which will of course drive the price up. But in the long run, people who will hold their funds in our better token, I think in the long run they'll gain, because as the user base grows, the demand for the tokens will grow as well. So let's say you might go in and enter a bet for, I don't know, 10 Bether tomorrow. It might be worth, I don't know, $5 or so, like something like that. You win the bet, you get 50 Bethers back from it, which would basically mean $50. But if you hold it in Bether, in a week's or 2 weeks time, it might go up again. So I think that's another interesting betting factor added to the whole thing. So
okay, so you're going with the network effect of, you know, just holding the token itself, that maybe you're getting feedback that people that use it like that they can speculate on the price of the token and bet on a game at the same time.
Yeah, it basically adds another level to the betting, and people find that interesting, I think. And there's one interesting, one important thing I also like to mention. I think we're not there right now, but I think eventually people will start thinking of crypto as real money. So I think society is approaching a point where it will be normal for me to say that, hey, let me pay for lunch and I'll pull out my crypto wallet and I pay in Ethereum or any other currency. So I think we're moving toward that direction, and we're already getting ready for when that is really mainstream. And I think starting early is really good, because by the time that the whole crypto market becomes established, we want to already be mainstream. So people don't really think about, okay, maybe I got I won $50 or I won 1,000 Bethers and I really want to convert it into dollars. I think people will start to consider crypto as real money or a real asset. And I think many of the people who are already involved with crypto, I know people that live off crypto. So they have the 10x card or something like that. They have an Ethereum wallet somewhere. And I think society is really getting there. And I think it will be there much faster than anyone expects.
All right, so the bets, there's no odds maker. You guys are not the odds maker. That's parimutuel betting. So it just depends on how many people are in the pool and so on, your risk. But there has to be someone providing the data for the game and to calculate the points. I assume it's a smart contract. But of course, like everything like that, it has to have a connection to the outside world. So how do you prevent the oracles from sending incorrect information or fraudulent information if they wanted to somehow cheat with one of the betting pools, maybe, for example, or some kind of other collusion like that? So how do you prevent fraudulent behavior from oracles?
Yeah, so exactly as you said, the only way to cheat this system is if actually someone would to be able to send false match result data into the smart contract for evaluation. That's the only way you can cheat with what we're building. And we're also going to take care of that so we'll have an oracle, and in front of the oracle, we'll have several data feeds. So we'll have bedradar, live score, maybe 6 or 7 feeds, and we'll have a consensus algorithm that compares all those feeds and makes a decision about if a result is valid or invalid. If it's only a slightest chance that the result might be invalid, we can either annul the bet and just return all the funds to the players. But we've already tested this, and so far, like, it was like 0.00001% of the results were in some way discrepant from the other data feeds we tested out. So in the long run, I don't think we'll have a problem with that. And just for the security of it all, we're going to pull data from several sources into the oracle that ultimately fits the consensus data into the smart contract for evaluation. So I think manipulating it, you'd have to basically manipulate 7 or 8 feeds, and that's near to impossible, I'd say.
So you mean I'd have to not only manipulate, so the oracle is getting cross-checked with the centralized feeds, basically.
Yeah.
So the centralized feeds would all have to make a mistake, which has happened, but it's rare. And then the oracle would also have to make the same mistake. But I'm just saying the oracle.
Theo,
do you hear me?
Yeah, I think something with the connection's lagging a bit.
Okay. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Excellent.
Could you repeat that question again?
Sure. I was just saying that the oracle will most likely be just repeating one of those top 7 API feeds anyway? Or, I mean, how is the Oracle going to be any different than one of those top? You see what I mean? Like a lot of the Oracle systems, like, oh, I'll just take this API feed and feed it in. And that
Yeah.
ends up being one of those. Is there another idea, like a human
basically
Oracle or?
Yeah, so basically what the Oracle will do is it will not only take one of those 7 feeds, it will compare all the 7 feeds against each other, and if there's a discrepancy, we'll know about it. So let's say one feed, the match result is 2-2, and one of the feeds says it's 2-1. So the valid answer will be 2-2 because the majority said it's 2-2. So yeah, basically we're not only taking data from one source and deciding somehow which one's valid, but we're really making a consensus algorithm that compares all of those sources and really make sure that the result it's what the feed told us it is. So yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go into another topic. What about an affiliate program? Do you have an affiliate program for if I bring my friend in order to bet on a game, or I invite a party and everybody downloads the app and joins? Do I earn any Bethereum token for that?
Oh, so if you take a look at our white paper and our graphs in terms of the token distribution, we have a 10% long-term marketing budget that will cover something like this. So you're probably all familiar with Uber and how Uber does it. So basically, once you invite a person, he gets a $5 discount, and you get a $5 discount. So we're going to build something similar to this, and we're going to cover our expenses at first using the long-term marketing budget that we have allocated already. So yeah, we're going to do an affiliate program, and this is approximately how it's going to work.
All right. What's the advantage a token holder has?
Oh, so I think the advantage is that, so if you join our token sale at this point, all the tokens will either be held by the team, which all, of course, will be vested. They will be held by the long-term marketing budget, which will also be vested, but all the rest will be held by the people who actually participate in the token sale. What doesn't get sold will get burned. So basically, once the whole platform launches, the first players will have to acquire their tokens from somewhere, and they will have to acquire them from the token holders. This will increase demand, the supply will be fixed, and the supply will be even coming lower and lower because we will burn part of the tokens during the betting process. So right now, if someone acquires a token in our token sale, once we launch the platform, the players who want to bet our platform will have to buy the tokens from somewhere. And he'll have to buy the player from the person who acquired it during the token sale, which will drive the demand and, of course, token price up as well. So it might be a pretty good idea to get some tokens now during the token sale.
Okay. Give us a real quick, I mean, of course, we can go to bethereum.com. I'll put the link in the description, and you can look at the white paper and the details and everything. But just give us a real quick, 1 or 2 minute overview of your roadmap.
Oh, okay. So let me open it up in the other tab. So
oh, okay. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so great. Just give us a brief roadmap.
So basically, our token sale is planned for March. After March, I think we'll need a few weeks to complete the team, hire a few more extra people, and the development will start immediately. So I think right after the token sale, what we want to do is get our token listed on exchanges. So that should be planned for around April, May at latest. So that's when we'll be listed on exchanges. I think in Q3, so sometime after the summer or during the summer, what we're going to do is already solve all the Oracle things, put out closed alpha internally, and of course launch the Bethereum wallet. So basically, the wallet will be available before the actual betting app until the end of this year. So sometime in fall or winter 2018, we're doing a public beta, and we're also developing are going to be starting developing a software development kit containing all our technology, so even other developers can build their platforms on our technology. So we'll put out smart contracts. Basically, we want to build Bethereum as a platform. So not only social betting, but really prepare all the technology into a framework or into a package or into an SDK, provide to other developers so they can also add their own content on our platform. So let's say someone wants to create an app where you can bet on what's the weather going to be like tomorrow. So that's all planned for fall or winter 2018. Afterwards, in Q1 2019, we'll do a launch of the web and iOS versions of our app. We'll also, at that point, add esports. We'll also create a high roller club, and we'll start to partner with other betting agencies. I think we'll come back to that again as well. And then for Q2, so around March, April 2019, we'll do a global launch of the whole platform. So what we have planned for the end of this year and maybe the beginning of the next year is a soft launch, which will be a small launch, because every time you launch something this big, I think you only want to launch in a few regions just to make sure that everything works. And once we're done with that, around this time next year, we'll also do a global launch where we'll do a huge ad campaign and all those things. For Q3 afterwards, Q3 2019, I think what we're going to do is release the developer SDK, and we'll also add other betting events. So let's say political events, stuff like that, to our platform. So yeah, that's, I think, the rundown of what we're going to do in the next year or so.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's about it, and we'll get into the final words and where we can find you and the Telegram channel and all that. But do you have any predictions for tonight, Champions League?
Oh, I'm so busy. I used to be a football player. I played the first league in Slovakia. And I was really a huge football fan, but right now I'm so busy with Bethereum and with token sale that I think I watched one hockey game from the Olympics, and I don't even know which matches are being played. So if you can tell me who plays Champions League tonight.
We have Barcelona against Chelsea and Munich against Besiktas.
So I think Barcelona will win, and I'd say maybe 3-1, and for Munich, I'd say 2-1 maybe.
Okay, good. What position did you play? You played first league.
I played either central midfield, so center of the whole game, or I played central defense, because back then I used to be pretty fit and big compared to all the other players. So my sole in football was to stop us from getting a goal. So yeah, that's what I played.
Nice. All right. So if we want to find out more information about your project, what's the best place to find you?
I think definitely join the Telegram channel. That's, I think, #1 resource where you can also get in touch with all our team members and really ask the questions that you cannot find on our website. So of course, check out our website as well, bethereum.com. If you go to our YouTube channel, I think Theo will also put a link. You might be able to find pitches from the conferences that we attended, such as London Blockchain Week, and also Ice Totally Gaming, where we actually met. So that is a good place, and I think, yeah, really, the Telegram group is really the start and go-to place if you want more info.
Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. Please check out the links in the description. Check out the Telegram channel, t.me Bethereum. Also, give me a subscribe and a thumbs up, and also put your comments in the comments below, and they'll get back to them. If you have any questions about the platform, any critique, anything like that, put them in there. I want to thank Martin for coming on today, and thanks, everybody. Talk to you next time.